Hello beautiful beings. In today's video, we talk about money mistakes that we need to avoid and ways in which we can fix them. If we are being honest, we all make mistakes when it comes to our money, and it's a normal part of our financial freedom journeys where we go through our journeys learning and getting better and better each time with new information, with new tools, with new practices that we are implementing in order to improve our finances. So really, there is no judgment. There is no need to feel bad if you have made mistakes or you are making mistakes. It's a normal part of the learning process. And the most important thing is just to make sure that we are growing from our mistakes. Once we know better, once we have new information, we need to take action in order to make changes, to make improvements, so that we can continue to grow and improve on our money. If you are new here, my name is Elizabeth. You can also call me Les. And on this channel, I talk about personal finances as well as wholesome living. And nothing I say on this channel should be seen or received as financial advice. And if you are looking for financial advice, please do speak to somebody who is certified and registered with the relevant bodies in your area in order for you to get financial advice. Let's dive into the money mistakes. The first mistake is not learning about personal finances. I know that many of us did not learn about personal finances in school as part of our formal schooling. And unless you have done a finance degree or an accounting degree, most of us are really just self-learning. So this is one of the mistakes where a person does not take priority to learn about their personal finances. And this is bad because it sets you back financially. It also makes you to miss out on opportunities that you could have taken that are linked to your financial success because you do not have better information or you do not know what you don't know actually that could have assisted you to improve your money. When you do not know about personal finances or you are not educating yourself on personal finances, you are also not able to grow at the pace or at the rate that you could have been growing if you have better information or if you have known better. And the way we can fix this, it's really to prioritize our self-learning. Prioritize learning about money. Whichever method that you work with best in terms of your learning, choose that method and keep going and keep at it. If you are a book person, read books. Read books about money. Be it physical books, be it e-books. And if you are a person who enjoys podcasts, do listen to money podcasts. Listen to money YouTube channels. Look at money blogs. Look at financial news and all these important platforms that can give you information on money and especially on personal finances. That way you are able to improve your money and this will no longer be a mistake in your life. The second mistake is not having a financial plan and not having a budget. Now, when you don't have a financial plan, you basically do not have goals and intentions when it comes to your money. You have not set goals because you can't set goals without attaching what you want to do with your money. So you also do not know where your money is going, and it's like going blindly into a jungle where you don't have a map, you don't have a compass, but somehow you want to find your destination. You actually don't even have a destination if we are being honest. So this is really not good, and we need to fix that. To fix this, immediately one needs to draw up a financial plan. And once that is drawn up, you need to make sure that it includes what you want your money to do. So your money goals, your intentions, the things that you want to achieve with your personal finances. And also you need to set up a budget. The budget is the one that allows you to actually allocate money to the different things that you have put in your financial plan. And on a monthly basis, you can allocate funds and you can adjust accordingly as you go. The third mistake is not having an emergency fund. This is really bad because when you do not have an emergency fund, you are just one financial emergency away from lending into high interest debt. At the same time, you also live with anxiety of of possible emergencies. Because you know you don't have a plan, you are constantly thinking, oh my goodness, I hope nothing happens because I don't have the funds for it. So you don't live in peace. You are mostly anxious because you are thinking, if something happened, I will not have a plan on how I can resolve it financially. To fix this, one needs to aim for an emergency fund which is set aside for 3 months or up to 6 months of your living expenses. So a minimum of 3 months and up to 6 months is what is recommended. However, depending on your needs and your lifestyle, you can also increase that for up to 12 months. Especially also if you are planning to make a major transition in your life that might require you to have a bit of more cushion to cover you in an event where you do not have an income coming in. The other thing you can also consider, if you are not in a position right now, as in like today, to put or to start building now that fund, you can at least have a minimum balance that you maintain in your account so that can assist with the small emergencies. For example, you can say I'm keeping $1,000 in my account as a bare minimum of my emergency fund, or I'm maybe keeping a 10,000 Namibian dollars or a 10,000 rands as a basic emergency fund. You don't yet have the 3 months or the 6 months of expenses, but at least you have that 1,000 or you have that 10,000 that can at least cover you in an event of emergency. It might not be able to cover larger or bigger emergencies, but at least it's something. The fourth mistake is not tracking your expenses. When you are not tracking your expenses, you don't actually know where your money is going. You do not know how much you are actually spending on the different items that you are spending money on. And all these small purchases that you do, they add up, and you might end up living above your means because you have no idea what you are actually spending on and how much you are spending and where you stand in terms of what your income is and where your expenses are standing. So not tracking your expenses, it's actually an easy way of you basically throwing away your money on unnecessary expenses. To fix this, one needs to have a budget in place and tracking their expenses throughout the month. You allocate for the different items in your budget, and as you go through the month, you look at how much have I spent. If I have budgeted 400 for my massage, then what have I spent? If it's not spent, what do I do with it? If I have overspent, what do I do? Where do I take the funds to cover the shortfall? You can also use expense tracking apps, or you can use cash stuffing if you really have a problem with tracking your expenses and overspending. You can also use the cash stuffing or the envelope method where you allocate certain amounts to different envelopes for the different items, and once the money in that one envelope is finished, then that is it for the month. Mistake number 5 is paying only the minimum on your high interest debt. We have spoken about high interest debt in previous videos, and we said these are your store cards, it's your credit cards, it's your overdrafts, it's your loan shark loans or your cash loans that you have taken out. Those are your high interest debt. And when you are only paying the minimum, you actually end up paying more in interest. You pay tons of interest and you end up having compound interest working against you. Because you are only putting in the minimum, you take longer to pay. And the longer you take, the more that interest that you owe, or the more the balance that you owe is actually just compounding against you. And to fix this, one has to choose a method of paying off debt. Choose a method that you are going to use to pay off your debt. You can either go with a snowball method or you can use the avalanche method. However, I wouldn't recommend snowball method for high interest debt, because then you are tackling the smallest debt first, which might be the one also with the lowest interest, while the one with the highest interest is still waiting for you to get to it. The other thing is also to consider paying in extra on all your high interest loans so that you are able to finish them faster, to tackle them and finish them faster. So if your budget or your income can allow, pay in extra. If your minimum is 500, pay in an extra 50, pay in an extra 100, then you'll be able to actually finish paying it off faster, and in the end you have also cut on the interest that you end up paying. Mistake number 6 is keeping large sums of money in your checking or transactional accounts. This is a common mistake with a lot of people, and it's understandable because people feel a certain sense of security if they have money sitting in their account. However, there are better accounts where you can actually keep this money. So when you keep large sums of money in your transactional account or in your checking account, you actually miss out on compound interest, because most of the transactional account either do not have any interest at all that you are gaining, or they have very little interest, maybe a 0.5 or a 1% if you are lucky. You do not really benefit from interest, and you end up also losing out on that interest compounding for you. So because the money is just sitting there, you actually end up spending this money on unnecessary things instead of putting it towards important things like your savings or your investments or paying extra in your debts. To fix this, you need to make sure that you have savings and investment goals and allocate funds accordingly, and make sure that you are automatically transferring that money from your checking account or your transactional account into the different accounts where you are saving and investing. And when it comes to investing, you will then be able to invest in different asset classes of your choice. For example, bonds. You can also invest in stocks, index funds, and exchange traded funds. So you have a whole lot of option where that money is going, instead of just for it to sit in your transactional account where there is no growth of your money and there is no wealth building of your money. Mistake number 7 is lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep happens to us when we are earning more but we are not saving or investing more. The more your income goes up, the more you also somehow have higher or new expenses that increases the expenses. So in the end, the income is high and the expenses are also high. So the difference that is left is very minimal. This is really not good, because then your money is not working for you. You are working for the money, but the money is not working for you when you are doing this. And to fix this, you need to make sure that every time you have an increase in your income, prioritize increasing your savings and investment contributions first before you consider additional expenses or consider increasing your expenses. So the first priority when then new income is coming in, it should be money going towards your savings and investments first, and you just leave now a smaller percentage that goes to increasing your lifestyle expenses. And with this, you also need to make sure that you automate so that that money goes where it needs to go before you can use it for your lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. Mistake number 8, which is the last one, is spending most of your income on your family, especially your extended family, and this is also considered as black tax. If this is what you are doing, you are actually setting yourself back financially, because instead of that money actually helping you to grow your wealth and to access opportunities, you are using it to spend it on your relatives. And it also robs you of your life goals and the ambitions and the different things that you wanted to do for yourself. Let's say, for example, when you started working, you wanted to travel the world. If all your income or most of it is going to your family members, you will not be able to do that traveling. So in the end, you miss out on that life goal where you want to travel the world as a result. And when it comes to black tax, it also affects you mentally and emotionally. The high expectations that are placed on you as an individual to share your income with others, even when you are not able to, or even when you are not willing to, it affects you mentally. You can become very anxious every time someone calls you. You are thinking they are asking for money. It can really isolate you, especially when you are not able to meet the demands of the family. So it really takes away from you, not only financially and not only career-wise and opportunities-wise, but also with your mental health and your emotional health. And to fix this, we need to set boundaries, learn to say no and be firm with your no. Make sure you don't backtrack on your decisions once you have said no. To the things that you have said yes to, allocate a certain percentage of your income. Let's say 4% of your income is what you can allocate to assisting your family, and that's it. You do not go beyond that. Once that is done, then they must just wait for the next income. You can also consider offering non-monetary support. Not everything you are able to solve alone with money. Sometimes you can just offer moral support, or you can offer ideas, and those family members can see how best they can get access to money for the things that they want to do. So don't always be the hero. Even when you have, you need to think of your own financial goals, your own needs, and the things that you want to actually do with your money. And you are also thinking of the long term, because tomorrow you will be retired and you have not put aside enough money to be able to live off in your retirement. So we have gone through 8 money mistakes that sometimes we are making with our finances, and like I said earlier, there is nothing to feel bad about. It's a learning curve. So we learn from our mistakes and we pick up new information, new ideas, new tools, and we are able to then use that to improve our money on our journey to financial freedom. So if you have found value in this video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, tell us about your financial mistakes. Which ones have you done? How have you fixed them? Which ones are you still struggling with? Maybe the next person can learn from you. And I'll see you in the next video.